Is there any kind of evidence in the universe that could make... I mean, if the stars lined up to spell, Peter, please believe in me, it's about time.
I put it down to madness.
You put it down...
to personal madness.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like, Peter, that there's no evidence that will persuade you away from atheism.
Well, to be honest, I think that's probably the case.
This atheist named Peter Dawkins is about to tell you something. Something Christians have known for a long time. A scientist is supposed to let the evidence go wherever it leads to. So you would think, not with Peter Dawkins. Let me give you this scenario. Imagine a scientist is searching for a cure to a deadly disease. As he continues his research and making progress, leading to a possible cure. But at the end, he decides to go the opposite way. You would think this scientist is crazy. You would think this scientist is not being rational. Well, see the video for yourself.
What I'm interested
we don't know the early conditions on Earth sufficiently well.
What I'm interested to know, though, Peter, is I think at one level, some people might accuse you of being so committed to atheism that you'd never be willing to countenance any evidence that might lend support to a creator behind the universe. So I'm just interested, what sort of evidence could science or the physical universe present to you that would make you think, actually, that is evidence that there's a mind behind this?
I find that a very difficult question. If I were looking in the Bible for evidence, heaven forbid, I would expect to see maybe increase in entropy is equal to Q reversible divided by temperature. And that is...
If there was literally an equation in the Bible
equation
like
in
that.
the Bible, rather than all this wishy-washy, elastic writing that it pervades.
All right. So if there was something like that they discovered in the Bible,
then I'd think it was probably a forgery.
Well, exactly. The problem is, would it actually make you...
No.
I mean, is there anything from... is there any kind of evidence in the universe that could make... I mean, if the stars lined up to spell, Peter, please believe in me, it's about time.
I put it down to madness.
You put it down...
to personal madness.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like, Peter, that there's no evidence that will persuade you away from atheism.
Well, to be honest, I think that's probably the case.
In that sense...
Wow.
Do you even have an evidence-based view if you're actually committed to atheism a priori?
Well, I'm predicting that there will be no such evidence. That's not quite the same thing as being committed to it a priori. I can't.
But you've said there's no evidence that would persuade you otherwise.
I think it's much more likely that I would have gone mad than such evidence would have been provided.
Right. So in principle, it's impossible to ever persuade you that God exists.
I didn't quite say that, but...
well, what would persuade you?
I can't conceive of... I suppose even if I died and was confronted with St. Peter saying, "Welcome to heaven," I'd probably think I was dreaming.
Would you? That leads me on to my next question.
If I were dead,
would you want it to be true? I mean, do you want God to exist in any shape or form? Would you be pleasantly surprised if you woke up on the other side of death
and found a life of eternal bliss? Of course, there's a play by Bernard Shaw, isn't there? Is it Man and Superman?
Yes,
where
maybe.
Heaven is found to be so boring that they ask to go down to hell for a bit of fun.
Well,
even if the stars were to line up and said, "Please, Peter, believe in me," he would think he's going mad. Do you think he's the only scientist that think like that? No. Richard Dawkins said something very similar to what Peter said. It was never about the lack of evidence for God. No, it has never been about that, because God made his existence obvious to us because of the things made. We see order and design of the universe. We see DNA. We see the fine tune of the universe, which make it possible for life. If you're an atheist watching this video, please do not follow this man. Follow the evidence wherever it leads to. And if it leads to God, you put your faith in God. And if it doesn't, then you live your life the way you want to. With that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Take care.